everybody, my name is Julio, project manager for Culture Strike. Welcome to another edition of Taco Talk, where we talk with some of your favorite activist artists while eating tacos and talking about art. Because if you're not eating tacos and talking about art, like what are you doing right now? We need that. That's a way of resistance, eating tacos and talking about art. For today's episode, we have the one and only Matice Moore! Yay, Matice Moore! Matice was one of the artists from the Visions from the Inside and the artist behind this amazing shirt that I'm wearing. Black Lives Matter. Thank you so much for being here today to talk about art. But before we get into that talk, let's eat some of these tacos. And let me tell you, today I made the tacos. What? I made chorizo tacos. Hopefully you like it. You can add some ketchup. I like ketchup because, you know, I'm an American. And put your favorite sauce on top of it and then just go for it. So let's go for it.
Let's do it.
Hopefully you enjoy. Food porn time. Oh. Go for it. Okay, Matice, tell me what you think about my tacos.
Your tacos were outstanding.
Oh.
I couldn't taste that Whole Foods chorizo.
Oh. Well, I'm glad you like the tacos, Matice. So now let's dive right into it.
Right.
Tell us where you grew up and how did you end up here in the Bay Area?
Yeah, so I was born in Phoenix. Arizona was definitely an interesting, difficult climate to grow up in, particularly, you know, being in my 20s, you know, coming into my political awareness around SB 1070 and a lot of the other really horrific legislation that Arizona was passing. So from a young age, I was a relatively introverted kid. I like books, I like drawing, I like music. I was very much steered towards writing with the idea that I would be a school teacher. And so my education and a lot of like my early training was all around education, working with schools, working in communities. And I always had a sense of being different, right? Arizona's 4% Black. Most of the neighborhoods that I was coming up in, I was like one of very few Black kids. I always thought my difference was around Blackness, right? And it wasn't until I continued to like grow up and come of age that I was like, oh, queerness, that's also very much going to be a part of my life. Definitely through my own process of self-discovery and looking for ways to understand beyond what our current, you know, normative society tells us about Blackness, about queerness, about gender, that I needed art. Art was the process that facilitated my own like feelings and reflection and ability to, you know, redefine both myself and then what I was seeing happening in the world around me.
Tell me about the shirt that you made.
Yeah.
Why the need to make the shirt?
When I first made that design, I'd actually just read Alicia Garza's article in the Feminist Wire. And in that article, she was really talking about who should be most centered in this current Black liberation movement, right? And who had been very much marginalized, erased, you know, completely looked over in past liberation movements. I was hanging out with Shreya Shah, and she said, I want to make a Black Lives Matter onesie for my nephew. I have 3 little people in my family, and I was like, oh, the little people in my family need something that says Black Lives Matter, and they need to know who this movement like most needs to impact. I had just learned how to lino cut. I made it like in my living room, was just messing around, and Shreya was like, this is a fundraiser. We're gonna put it on Instagram and social media, and it was organizers in the Bay Area who said, can we put it on a t-shirt?
Coming from the migrant rights movement, we forget about Black migrants a lot of the times. And that is something that we need to unlearn. Other movements, you know, the anti-Blackness, that it's really something that we need to battle. And so I really, you know, thank you so much for creating this piece. Where can people find the shirt?
I have an Etsy shop called Love Letters for Liberation.
You can see the link right here in the bottom. So this is a lino cut. Why lino cut? What is it about lino cut that calls your attention as opposed to painting or, you know, any other medium? Because I see all of your work is lino cut, right?
Yeah, for the most part. There was something about the printing aspect actually, because I first was given a block that was already carved and just printing multiples of it, and I was like, oh, this repetition is actually soothing. One of the things I always love about it is you have to find the negative space, right? And so what I'm looking at or what I'm thinking about is how do I find the light to make sense of the dark?
So tell us about this piece that we have here. This is
Yeah, so this is Minister Tanish. Michael Bazan approached me last spring for the Trans Life and Liberation series and was like, do you have, you know, a relationship with someone that we can highlight? I had seen Tanish every week at my church. She wears the most amazing shoes. She was definitely organizing with trans folks within the church, AIDS awareness and prevention work in San Francisco. I chose her and we went back and forth with images, you know, that would work for a portrait. We settled on a photo and I worked from the photo to draw the piece, carve the piece, and then that's her messaging. She was really concerned about the health and wellness of her Black trans siblings. With Tanisha, it was a lot of storytelling. You know, we mostly sat and talked about her life, you know, and all of the things that she'd been through, you know, her grandkids, her experiences, just in a lot of different circumstances. And so in that way, it felt like I was connecting with an elder, you know, and just getting to be in relationship. The actual exchanges about the art were really easy. You know, she sent me some photos. I was like, how about this one? She was like, great, you know. And I think she was surprised. She was like, what is this that we're doing again? You know, like, oh, okay, you know, it's Trans Liberation Day. Wonderful.
What are other things that you're working on right now that we can, you know, time to shout out here?
I am making more t-shirts.
Yeah.
I love to make t-shirts.
I want a pink one.
Really? I have a yellow one.
Yellow, okay.
Yellow.
I need to get the hoodie.
Yellow will be done like in the next week or so.
Okay.
I just love it when when I see neat or rad political t-shirts out in other places. I feel like it is a way to connect immediately with a person.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Matice, for being here today and for joining us with Tacos. Where can people find your art, your Instagram, your Facebook, you don't have to put your email, your phone number. We don't need to do that right now.
My Instagram is maria.matice, so at maria.matice. And then my shop is Love Letters for Liberation on Etsy.
Support the artists, support artists that do amazing work, and support the amazing Matice. Thank you so much, Matice.
Thank you.
And until the next taco talk, we'll be drinking coffee and eating more tacos. I think so.
I really said neat. I said neat.
Neat. I love it. Neat.
Your political t-shirt's so neat.
They're so neat. Can we have a conversation about this?